just about as groovy as a 10-cent movie. I'm your man, Calvin Gibbs. Welcome to Drama Talk Radio. As you know, Drama Talk Radio is the show where the word drama, D-R-A-M-A, stands for developing real and moving art. We're so happy, pleased and blessed to have you with us today for this segment of the podcast. And yo, I got a very special guest in the studio with me today. He is an actor in the theater that is very well known, especially on the East Coast. I actually met him in the last few weeks. Please welcome Robert Brotha Blaze Murray. Brotha Blaze, welcome to the show.
Hey, Brother Calvin, thanks for the welcome and thanks so much for having me on your show. I appreciate the light.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine, man. Pleasure's all mine. You know, we all have a heart for theater. It's our passion. That's why we do it. And then some of us get to move on and use it as a launching board for film, TV, so on and so forth. But I'd like to let the listeners know today, how did you get started in theater?
Actually, I was introduced by theater after a start in film. Somebody from my Facebook network was doing a short film and was looking for extras. So I, said, this seems like something fun to do. So I decided to do it, and it turned into actually being an extra turned into a speaking role. I guess he heard my voice and took a look at me and said, "Well, I got a small, it'll be a small role for you instead of extra." So I did that, and I saw myself on screen, saw my name in the credits, and saw myself on screen for the first time in this short film. And I was like, "Oh, I want more of this. I have to have more of this." The bug. I said, because I got a little bit of an ego, so seeing myself on screen was the only selling point I really needed. And I said, okay, this is something I definitely want to do. So I've always been an entertainer, but that was the first time I ever acted. This is probably about 2011.
Okay.
So I did, and I lucked out and got a few other booked a few more acting gigs in film. And I said, well, I want to do theater, and because I thought the better actors are theater trained, in my humble opinion. So I said, I wanted to get a strong theater background, because I'm like, if this is something I'm going to do, I'm not just going to do it. I'm going to be very good at it if I'm going to do it. And theater allowed me the opportunity to really just learn and appreciate the craft, not just as an audience just watching movies, just seeing the craft that goes into it. That how we do more work when you're not on stage and when you're not on set. That's when you do the majority of your work. When you get on set and then it's time on stage, then it's time to have fun. But all the work goes on beforehand. And I think that theater definitely made me, forces you in a sense to be a good actor, to use your instrument in ways that really brings out a performance, brings out a scene, and makes it genuine.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I love theater for the reason that it's live, and there's always Murphy law that can be invoked, and you have to be prepared to think on your feet often. I've been in situations as a producer when we blew a fuse and the lights went off, and the actors, they kept going. They kept going. The stagehands went and found candles and put them on the edge of the stage. So we did theater in the dark, and it kept going. And the audience loved it, man. And I was so proud of my actors because they didn't get shaken at all. And that's what I love about theater. And I do agree with you. The best actors, in my opinion, are the ones that are trained in the theater. They're strong. They know how to create a character. They know how to live in the scene, and their work shines on the screen. So I definitely agree with you on that. But Brotha Blaze,
Yes, sir.
I have a question for you, Brotha Blaze. How did you get the name Brotha Blaze?
Well, that's something I often have to explain. Being a man of a certain age, still going by, still going by Blaze. But actually, back in the day when I was actually a break dancer,
Mm,
and I was making that transition from a break dancer to I was, strongly influenced by hip hop culture. So I was transitioning from a break dancer into a rapper. I was an MC. So I needed a name because my breakdancing name was Rock and Rob.
mm.
So yeah, that got real corny real quick, as you can I can tell by your reaction. So I needed a name that was good, an MC name, because back then everybody was calling themselves MC something, MC Light, MC Brains, MC Breeze, MC Hammer, so I needed an MC name. So a buddy of mine was thumbing back and forth through a dictionary trying to find a cool name for me. And he kept rattling off these names, going from A to Z, back and forth. And I'm like, no, 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 no. That sounds all right. And then he said, Blaze. And I said, we both paused. And I was like, whoa. He's like, oh, that's got a nice sound to it. And he was like, and he read the definition to me. And he said, yo, that's your personality, like totally, man. And I was like, yeah. So I stuck with it. And I mean, and one time when I was rapping at the Hollywood Palace in Philly, which is a spot that a lot of singers and MCs and artists, really poets, used to come to the Hollywood Palace. Like the Roots would go there sometimes. Other people, like a lot of acts, local and known, would go to the Hollywood Palace and perform. It was like a network, it's my gathering spot for artists. So the brother introduced me. I said, yeah, I go by Blaze because having the MC on the name wasn't cool anymore. People were dropping the MC from the
Right.
names. So I told the announcer that I'm Blaze. And he said, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Brotha Blaze. And I was, for a second, I was like, whoa. I like that. Touch it, Brotha Blaze. Not just Blaze, Brotha Blaze. I said, I'm going to use it from now on. That's it. He renamed my name.
Okay.
My mother called me Blaze. My grandparents called me Blaze. It's just a part of my name now. So.
Well, it definitely works, and yeah, I would say it definitely is your personality, man. And I can see you. I haven't actually seen you on film on a screen yet, but I can imagine you would blaze there as well. So, Brotha Blaze, that's how you got it. It sticks. It works, man. Definitely works. I guess I'm gonna have to go through the dictionary and find a cool name for myself.
It'll help. It'll work. Most people hear the name Blaze and think it means I smoke weed. That's not the case. I don't smoke weed. That's not what Blaze means in this case.
Okay. Very good. Very good. So let's get back to theater. I see your resume here. You've done quite a bit of theater. Is there any special genre that you like above the other?
I wouldn't say there's one specific genre I like above another. I love all theater. I kind of favor contemporary pieces because I like theater. I mean, this anything worthwhile and worth having could use new blood. So I really love contemporary pieces. I like pieces that allow me to be more dramatic because of my because of my size and my appearance. I usually tend, especially in film, to get cast for the big bodyguard type roles and things like that. So theater gives me a chance to really show my dramatic range, and that I can, even this big dude, I can have those soft moments and things like that and be genuine and thought and show different truths instead of just, okay, the big God stereotypical thing. But I wouldn't say I favor one, but I would say anything that challenges me and helps me to grow as an artist or a person, I'm in favor of, regardless of what genre it comes in.
Okay. Well, as a bigger frame person, I see you're like 6'3". How do you handle comedy?
The thing is, I'm a very comedic person. When people talk to me in regular conversations, I'm low key, very funny. So I love comedic things. I think I have a natural flair for comedic timing. Finding, not necessarily trying to be funny, but creating a funny moment than necessarily trying to say something funny. So understanding the truth about comedy, and how it's used and things like that. So I love comedic work. I like to do more dramatic work, only for the purposes I mentioned. I like to show range, but comedy comes quite naturally to me. I love comedic pieces.
In my work in the theater as an actor, I found that comedy is very subjective. For example, one show I remember, this is early in my acting career, we did a spoof of the TV show Good Times. And I played James Evans, with the corduroy pants, tight corduroys and flannel shirt, all that, man.
I can see you in that.
Well, I was about 50 pounds lighter then, so it worked. But that Friday night, this was a show just for 2 nights, Friday and Saturday. For the Friday night, we had a full house, and audiences were falling out in the aisle. They were laughing so hard. So we like, okay, we're doing something right here. That Saturday night, we performed just as Friday night, but the audience just sat there. It's like the punchlines wasn't hitting. So we would run into the dressing room to change. We're like, what the hell's going on? And then we started pushing it, trying to make the comedy happen. We were practically throwing ourselves off the stage so they would laugh, and it just didn't work. So it's subjective, Maybe the Friday night crowd, after they got off work, they were down for that. But the Saturday matinee show, they was not feeling it, man. They was not feeling it.
No two shows are the same. No two shows are ever the same.
Oh, how true, how true, how true. Now, I want to ask, I was looking at your resume, and I saw a show that, a character actually that caught my eye, and it's the play called Kill the King, 63. And it says that you played Sonny Liston.
Yes.
The former heavyweight champion that Muhammad Ali took down. How was it preparing for that play?
That actually wasn't too far out of my wheelhouse. I mean, when I was young, my grandfather introduced us to the sport of boxing, taught us how to box, and because he was a boxer. So, I mean, all I had to do for that, I already had the size. All I had to do was just, do my mustache, get rid of the beard, do a little mustache, looking the part, big and intimidating. Okay, I can do that. As far as looking into his background and getting to know just who Sonny Liston really was, it was I learned a lot about him, and that's a great character that, I never get rid of a character when I do a character. I always keep him in my wheelhouse. I can always use him again, in a sense, in another role, unbeknown to the public. I love researching that character, and it also motivated me to get back in the gym and hit the bag again and stay in shape, because I'm into boxing and martial arts, so help get me in shape, and things like that. But it was a fun piece to do. It was educational for me because I learned kind of like putting myself in Sonny Liston's shoes. And that's the thing about when you're doing a real life character, you begin to feel for that character. You know what I mean? You kind of in a way experience what they experience, so you develop a sense of sympathy for them. And you know what I mean? So like I think I've just been cast in a film where I'm going to be playing Sonny Liston's father. So it's like now I've done that research, so I can play Sonny. Now I know the situations that caused Sonny Liston maybe to be the way he was and to make the decisions that he made. So now I'm basically just going to the root of that. So I can draw from that experience. But that was a great it was all Broadway performance at the Manhattan Repertory Theater. That was an awesome show to do.
Did that include any stage fight?
Very, very little. Just boxing with another actor, but of course, even that has to be choreographed. So,
Right.
yeah, so there was some choreography involved in that.
Okay, very good. That's one thing that I love is stage fighting, because it has to be timed just right to look real. And yeah, it can be physically challenging, but once you pull it off, it's so good. So I see that you have done some. We talked about film, um, and some television as well. What TV shows have you been involved with?
As far as TV shows go, I've mostly been involved with web series,
Okay.
and a lot of those can be found on YouTube. One was really popular, but was taken down for reasons I don't know, and I never questioned the producers why. I mean, it was getting a lot of attention, but then was taken down. So I don't know the reasons. These things happen. They're beyond talent's control, and
Right.
we don't always get an explanation. So these things happen. But yeah, I've done some web series and looking to do more television. Definitely looking to do more of that. Network TV
Okay.
work. So.
Okay. Well, you need to come on down to Chi-Town because we got it going on over here. A lot of TV shows are being filmed in Chicago, Chicago PD, Chicago Med, Chicago. There's another one, Chicago Fire. Um, a lot of Empire was supposed to be based in Chicago, although it was actually a lot of it took place in New York. But Chicago is an up and coming place for TV. So
That's what I heard. I actually been to Chicago for the first time just last week. My first time being in Chicago. I enjoyed it. Very short stay. Went to filmed one day's work filming for a movie. But
okay.
You definitely don't got to twist my arm to get me to come back to Chicago. That's for sure. I'll definitely be back. And if I can land some work while I'm out there, all the more better.
Okay, just don't come during the winter because the hawk is real, brother.
I heard. I lucked out and avoided it the last trip. I don't know. Next one, I'll make sure I bring a coat with me.
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you, I moved here in Chicagoland from Brooklyn, New York, in 1996 in December, and I didn't have a vehicle at the time, so I'm standing waiting for the bus to come, and man, that wind, that cold was going through my bones to the point that I got pissed off. I was like, it doesn't make any sense for it to be this cold. I had never experienced, 40 below zero wind chills, man, until I moved here. And 40 below wind chills, let me tell you, it is no joke, brother. When they call Chicago the Windy City, oh yeah, that's for real. So definitely.
It's chilly in Philly, but it's not. It don't get that cold like you're talking about.
Oh yeah. Well, Philly. I know a little bit about Philly too. That wind is in the they call it the Delaware Valley, I believe it is, and you get that wind in there. So Philly, I know Philly has a lot of wind. I've been to Eagle games, and yeah, it's no joke. But I guarantee you, it doesn't.
Chicago's definitely colder in Chicago.
It doesn't compare.
I believe that.
It doesn't compare to that wind coming from the north off the lake, man. Yeah, and it goes out. I'm 30 miles away from Chicago, 30 miles southwest, and even out here, the wind chill is a major factor in how you dress for that day. It's not necessarily the temperature, but it's the wind chill, man. Yep. So let's get back to theater and this pandemic environment we find ourselves in these days. And, for me, as a theater enthusiast, it became real for me when I heard that Broadway has shut down its season. And I was like, oh my God, this is serious. This is more serious than I may have thought it was because, I grew up on and off Broadway in the theater houses, and for them to shut down meant, yeah, this is serious. They bring in so much money, so much revenue, and people come from all over the world to go to Broadway. And for them to shut down, yeah, that was a major, major move. And now we find ourselves in this virtual world, and theater is being done virtually. Have you had any opportunity to see any virtual theater?
I haven't seen much. I haven't just sitting just as an observer watching virtual theater, but I have like firstly a stage play that I wrote. I planned on production. I was in the early stages of beginning production, and then this pandemic hit. So now I just got the stage play, full length stage play that I was ready to start casting and looking for venues. And this happened. So I'm like, wow, the timing couldn't have been any worse. So I said, you know what? Let me just do a reading of this play. So I did a Zoom reading. You know, had some talented actors and actresses that were willing to do it too, which shocked me. You know, but so I was like, okay, we did it, got feedback. It was awesome just seeing it come to life. So I said, okay, let me table this because there's a couple things I can do with this here, a couple of avenues I could take. So I took one of my short stage plays that I wrote, and I did we did it virtually. It was kind of like a game show type theme to it. So I was able to do it on Zoom and play it off like a Hollywood Squares type of thing. So it kind of actually helped a little bit, and did that and uploaded it on YouTube, and people liked it and thought it was a funny little skit. I'm like, okay, awesome. With the my other stage play, the options, the theater houses right now are, like I said, they're not open right now, and when they do, it's probably going to be a slow matriculation back into the theater when we do get back to this new normal is going to be. It's probably going to be a slow matriculation and socially distanced seating at the onset, I think. So virtual is what people are going to do instead of sitting on their hands or sitting on their thumbs and letting their work sit on their laptops. People are going to do what they can do virtually to get entertainment out there. People are anxious to create content, and they don't want to put people in jeopardy. You know,
Right.
Is the way that you want to go. That's the sensible way to do it under these current circumstances. Hopefully, of course, we all want them to change. As actors, we want to get back to the theater. The theater houses want to open up, you know, and make their money. And audiences want to see theater. But now it's like, how are you going to, you got to make sure you got a hell of a product to get butts in the seats when the theater houses.
Oh, yeah. And even in this virtual world, trying to put a performance on, I've seen several of them. And again, because I am a theater enthusiast, wasn't very good to me. And I know as an actor, there's a connection that needs to be made between actor and audience. Same thing with people that do public speaking. And that connection seemed to have been broken. It wasn't there. And the production wasn't good to me. I did not enjoy it, and definitely could not recommend it. So in a previous segment of Drama Talk Radio, I was talking with a producer that lives in Colorado, actually, and the idea came through our conversation that in training actors, now there's a new niche of training actors to perform virtually that did not exist before. And maybe this is something that will take off and enhance an actor's ability to connect virtually with the audience. Your thoughts?
Like I said, I'm never quick to turn away a new idea. because you never know, what may become of it, how useful a tool it can be. But I mean, there's certain things I think that require the human element. I could pick up a book on kung fu and read it and study the illustrations and go through the moves and everything like that. But if Sifu is not there to correct me, make sure my angles are right, make sure my position's right and everything. I mean, I could be doing it all wrong, but it feels good to me, and I think I can fight. So it's the same thing with an actor, with an acting coach. If there's a direct connection, then yeah. If there's some type of connection being made, you have to be able to correct and teach the student. It could be a useful tool, but I think the further you get away from the human element, that certain things a lot of things you can learn remotely, but not everything. And I think some of the nuances of the craft, I would think that would be extremely hard to learn it and cultivate it properly virtually.
To a certain degree, I do agree with you. However, as we talked about earlier, people want theater. And let's say for a period of time, longer period of time, or let's say forever, theater could not come back. People would, in-person theater would not come back. People would find a way to cultivate this virtual theater and make it work. I mean, come on. Theater's been around since the thousands of years in the Greeks and all. So I think that they would find a way to cultivate it, and over time, it would become that new normal. You know what I mean? It would never be.
It would definitely do that. And like I'm saying, like you said with that one production that you saw, being a theater purist, there were certain elements that were missing to you. Yeah, certain connections that you're used to making to give you a certain feel that just simply in that production just wasn't there. And it's probably an awesome production where if they had if you would have seen it in the theater, I'm sure you would have enjoyed it a lot more. Right. So yeah, this is circumstance forces innovation. It's going to get better, so that way we'll be able to watch a theatrical production virtually and actually enjoy it and get that same feeling like we're sitting in the theater. We can get there. I don't think we're there yet, but can we get there? Yes, we can, of course. And that day is coming. We're just not living in it today. It's on the horizon, definitely.
Oh yeah, we're definitely not going to get there in a few months. It's going to take some time to, like anything else, cultivate it, see what works, what doesn't work. Even as far as writing, the writing may have to change to accommodate the new venue, which is a computer or TV screen. I want to talk quickly about some awards that you have earned. You have gotten a 2018 Spiral Film and Music Award honor for acting. You were also nominated for the Best Guest Star in a TV Drama. That was for a web festival. Was that it?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Anything else on the horizon in the future for you coming up?
Oh, most definitely. And it's funny. I was remarking to a few of my colleagues just yesterday, actually, that I've been booking more work during this pandemic than I was before the pandemic. Okay. It's like I'm booking more work now. Wow. And I hope everyone is covered. But if that's what it takes, if this is what it takes to get me work, bring the Blaze, baby. But you know what I mean? I hope everyone's covered, though. But I don't want no harm to come to nobody. But if this is what it takes to keep me booked, fine. I'm booking a lot of work now, and work begets more work.
Right.
And the more you network, and I've always been big on networking, because most doors your talent alone is not going to open for you. It's usually someone open the door for you so your talent can get in. So I've been networking a lot, and people are contacting me for work. I got a film that just I was in just went up on Amazon Prime last week. I got one in another film I'm in Vengeance is Mine is in post production now. It should be maybe about a month away from being done. And a couple other films and a couple other that I'm just being attached to that will be filming will begin still undetermined because of the pandemic, but they're still doing safe sets and everything. So we're still filming, but we're following certain protocols, for people's safety.
Of course, of course.
Safety first. Limited sets, temperature taken. All the precautions, necessary precautions nowadays are being done on set, and it's enough that it makes me feel comfortable going on set and going.
Good, good, good. So for our listeners, is there a website or a email contact? If any producers, directors want to get in contact with you, I'm sure once they see this interview, they will want to contact you. Can you give us that?
Yes. I could be reached on Twitter at Brotha Blaze, BrothaBlaze. Instagram, same handle at Brotha Blaze. Email brothablaze@gmail.com. You see, I try to keep things simple all across the board. Brotha Blaze,
Okay,
on all things.
Okay,
Instagram, Twitter. I'm Brotha Blaze Murray on Facebook.
Cool. And I want to mention that it's not brother, it's brother. Brotha.
Yes, sir.
That's the way. That's the way.
Person don't need to be formal. We're all family.
That's the way we pronounce it properly, brother. So, Brotha Blaze, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. It's been a pleasure. And for all the listeners, I'm Calvin Gibbs. This is Drama Talk Radio. And it's always imparting that we take 2 steps to the rear and get on out of here. Until the next episode, exit stage left.